The City of SeaTac in Washington State is ground zero for the big government, big union, big money agenda. Founded in 1989, the City of SeaTac is a modest 10 square miles with one of the West Coast's largest airports, covering nearly half of the city area. It has a population of 28,000 people with only 12,000 registered voters. The city is 55% minority and 20% of citizens living below the poverty level, which makes it one of Washington State's poorest cities. Politically, for most of its existence, this has been a city owned by big public sector unions and the politicians they control in the Democrat Party. SeaTac came to national attention as the first city in the USA to narrowly adopt a $15 per hour minimum wage in 2013, after unions and other special interests poured millions of dollars into the campaign to register voters and sway public opinion. SeaTac was the trendsetter for Seattle and many other cities. SeaTac has been a safe place for big government policies. The city council was loaded with the political A-team, Democrat Party insiders and rising stars. Seen by most conservative political observers as unwinnable because the Democrat Party establishment controlled all the levers of power in the city. As 2015 dawned, 4 entrenched incumbents were expected to cruise to re-election. But something unexpected happened on the road to this year's election. The incumbents, which consisted of Barry Laudenberg, who grew up in politics. Most of his family is currently in elected office. Terry Anderson, who had served in the SeaTac City Council since the city was formed. Dave Bush, who's a certain safe vote for big union and big government interests. And finally, Mia Gregerson, the mayor, who had been appointed to the state legislature as a political insider in Washington state Democratic politics. And she was considered a rising star in the Democratic Party.
The biggest question mark in the race was Mia Gregerson, because she not only was a sitting council member, she was the mayor, she also is in the state legislature.
Why are SeaTac citizens so mad at Mia Gregerson?
It's the Forsler 4 to the rescue! Forsler, Siddeley, Seakeeps, and Quan!
I'm Rick Forsler. I've been on the city council once before.
My name's Michael Seifgees. I'm an attorney. I've lived in SeaTac since the late 90s.
My name is Peter Kwan.
I'm Erin Sidderly, and I've lived in SeaTac, Washington for 27 years.
I called up a couple guys and I said, hey, let's come on over, let's sit around the coffee table and let's come up with some good ideas. Can we do this? How do we do this?
So I get a call from Doug Hill. He invites me over to his house for pizza and stuff, and him and Orrin Wells are there, some other guys, and they have this idea that they want to really help out with the SeaTac City Council races.
How I got involved in the Brighter SeaTac campaign was that guys like Doug Hill and his group over there wanted to get together and find a way to fund the project that they were looking at doing.
So the most important issues in SeaTac during this election was really utility tax, transparency, and running an efficient government.
Really, we're concerned about the taxes and the waste and the lack of transparency.
Taxes. People are not happy with their taxes going up.
Not only did they not know what's going on, but they also felt they had no say in what was going on. So they felt they had lost control of local government.
And the biggest thing was they instituted a 6% utility tax without a vote.
They also gave themselves benefits that allowed them to travel to locations that were questionable and spend thousands of dollars each on that travel.
What happened to my utility bills? The SeaTac City Council recently imposed a new 6.5% tax on cable, internet, electricity, telephone, and more, with little or no public input. Then they waste thousands on a trip to Nashville, Tennessee.
The old saying is, it's not what you know, it's who you know. We were so blessed to have Orrin Wells with Truth for Washington show up and go, I'm going to be the operations guy. The PAC's set up, Don't worry about a thing. You guys focus on what you need to do. I will cross all the T's and dot all the I's.
So we had to have creative talent, which was in abundance from Easy TV.
I've been doing political campaigns for a number of years. I've run for office myself, and what I've seen is that so many of the TV ads and the marketing strategies for candidates, it's so formulaic, it's so predictable, and expensive. And what we didn't have a ton of money, but I wanted something that was exciting, something that people would want to watch, something that people would get excited about, maybe talk about.
Then the other blessing we had was EasyTVSpots.com. Now here's a point I want to make to everybody, is whether you're selling pizza or aluminum siding or our brand of political conservatism, it's a product. And the beauty of EasyTVSpots.com is they understand consumer products. So they understand how to get to the people we're trying to talk to. And had they not created the spots they created, and yeah, there was pushback, and are you doing the right thing? And oh man, you are really out of the box now. They were brilliant. People talked about them. People reacted to them. People loved them.
Now the weather. There's a dark cloud over the SeaTac City Council. Storms of backroom deals with special interests and an attempt to exclude the public from committee meetings means reduced citizen visibility.
I heard from people that there were TV ads.
And I got to tell you, they were genius. They were hilarious. I mean, I like humor. I like kitschy humor. So I just laughed my head off.
As soon as I walked in, people cheered, and I was wondering what is going on here. And they said, "We just saw your commercial." And I said, "What commercial are you talking about? I don't have a commercial."
I didn't know it was out there. I really didn't. And then I called a lot of people, friends and around SeaTac, and I said, "Hey, have you seen this?" And they all said, "Yeah, we've seen it a lot."
Yeah, I'll never forget them. And everybody I know that saw them will never forget those commercials.
And they were just really well done. And I was just really surprised that of the quality and the simplicity, and yet they were able to get complex message across in a way that was very easy to understand for the voters, which is super important.
Most people in SeaTac had probably very little idea of what was going on with the secrecy and the no transparency and then the utility tax. People didn't even know. And when those commercials started coming out, as we were doorbelling and as we were talking to people on the phone, more and more people knew, "Oh, yeah, I saw your commercial. Is that really happening?" So it provided us great openings for every time we knocked on a door.
So the commercials absolutely helped in the doorbelling as well, because now I didn't have to spend, 5 or 10 minutes introducing myself. They already knew who I was and what I stood for.
It was a blowout. We took all 4 of those races in an amazing number in what was a Democrat city.
We saw the results online, and it was like New Year's Eve.
But when it was a landslide, and it was beyond a landslide, it was a blowout. You know what you realize? The hard work was worth it.
We're winning by 30 points. I mean, 30 points is not a close election. It's not even a blowout. It is beyond a blowout.
But it was a great feeling of accomplishment.
I couldn't believe what I saw. We not only won, Rick Forster's race, but we won every race. And I just couldn't have been happier.
Well, on election night, we had a lot of good news in the House Republican caucus, but the really unexpected good news was to take a urban district in King County, close to Seattle, and sweep away a bunch of Democratic incumbents, including a sitting state representative who was also mayor.
We probably had the significant numbers we did because of that other organization, Brighter SeaTac.
There's no guarantee. We don't know if we're going to win. But if we as citizens could now help good candidates, well, that's what I wanted to do.
I guess the most important thing for candidates and citizens to realize is that they can make a difference. They can win. They can campaign, even against what appears to be pretty significant odds.
Get involved. Get out there. Get mad. and believe that you can make a change.
You know, this was an amazing team effort. You had 4 great candidates. They were out doorbelling. They were very aggressive. You had the King County Republican Party that donated their phone bank almost unlimited, to which they took great advantage of that. And then you had the Brighter SeaTac team, Truth for Washington, and of course my production team, my media buy team. Everybody was executing. It was really an awesome thing to see.
To be part of that whole collective sense that we can change things, here's the hard work we have to do, and then to be in a group with people and you're celebrating all that hard work, you know, I wouldn't give it up for anything.
You know, we can't abandon the people that live in these small towns to these bad politicians. We've got to do something about it. I always felt like we could if we could just get the right team together. I think we've proven that, and I am so excited to take on the next one.
The victory of regular citizens in SeaTac, not political insiders or conventional wisdom, demonstrates that there is nothing entrenched politicians occupy that the citizens can't take back. There's no position held by the political establishment that is so secure that they can't be removed, regardless of how much money they have or how powerful a special interest may be that prop them up. There is no place in Washington state where the political incumbent should feel safe from dedicated citizens who are willing to work hard and to make change happen.
To show that Republicans can win in urban King County areas, that's going to be the model for what we do around the state.